that was essentially, when you have deep, deep roots in the South, in Kentucky and such, it's not just your parents, your father, your mother, it's your grandparents, it's your uncles, it's your aunts, it's this, it's that. Yes, raised to be a Southern gentleman, that is to say, when chivalry was still alive and allowed.
Right. And you think you live up to the standards of a Southern gentleman, correct?
I believe I do. I certainly have done my best all my life.
Paul Bettany's a good friend that you've done drugs with, right?
That's a strange question. Paul Bettany is a good friend. Yes.
You've done drugs with him?
Yes, I have.
Cocaine, right?
Cocaine, yes.
Alcohol?
Alcohol, yes.
Pills, including Xanax and Adderall, right?
That I'm not so sure of.
Okay.
Where's he gone?
Your Honor, may we approach?
All right.
I just want to discuss one thing with you.
Okay.
Ms. Myers.
J.B. Rottenborn. I'm going to be impeaching Mr. Depp. I'm going to impeach Mr. Depp with some of the testimony from UK. But I want to respect, Your Honour, what you ruled on that. So I'm just wondering, what would you like me to refer to this as? I think it's fair game to refer to it as a testimony in the UK or the UK trial, but I don't want to run afoul of Judge Penny. I think you've already talked about that testimony in the UK trial. I think that... Miss Myers. Oh, the testimony is publicly available. J.B. Rottenborn. Yes, I just don't want to... If I say, take a look at your UK testimony, I don't want you to be Judge Penny. No, I think anything... You can say, I direct your attention to your testimony in the UK. Case is fine. Would you agree? Yep. Just nothing with the judgment ruling, that's all. J.B. Rottenborn. Thank you, appreciate it. May I approach the witness? Judge Penny. Yes.
Thank you. You certainly did, yes, sir.
And you shared, the two of you shared an enjoyment of controlled drugs or alcohol at that time, right?
The two of us were making a film together.
With respect, sir, that wasn't my question. My question was the two of you shared an enjoyment of controlled drugs and alcohol at that time. Yes or no?
At times.
Yes. And Ms. Heard was quite adamant that you didn't drink anymore and that you should stop using recreational drugs, right?
Oh, yes.
And she didn't like it when you were high on drugs or drunk on alcohol, right?
She didn't like it when it was her perception that I was high on drugs. Okay. Her perception's quite different than the truth.
And that's what we're after, is the truth. Let's turn to, can you pull up Exhibit 178, please, Michelle?
Is that Defendant's 178 or?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, that's all right, I just want to make sure.
Oh.
Mr. Depp.
Objection, Your Honor.
All right.
Can we approach, please?
Okay, sure.
Miss Myers. Your Honour, we're objecting on the basis of 403 and 404. This isn't relevant and highly prejudicial given the language. Judge Penny. Everything is prejudicial, I understand that. Ms. Myers. It's also improper character evidence as well, because this is just... I mean, he didn't actually do what? Indiscernible. In the text message. It's just using the foul language. Judge Penny. Yes, sir. J.B. Rottenborn. I'll respond if you'd like. Judge Penny. Yes. Mr. Rottenborn. He's talking about doing violence to his then-girlfriend, which is what he's, indiscernible, whole trial to do. Make sure there's no more direct evidence. Indiscernible. It's highly probative. Judge Penny. The only concern I have is, since it is already redacted, this is something I assume you want? Miss Myers. So they redacted the middle portion where... J.B. Rottenborn. I'll be happy to put in the middle portion. I was just trying to keep things going today. I just decided to. They'll probably object to hearsay to other people's texts. But we can remove that redaction. Judge Penny. Do you want it in context? Ms. Myers. We most certainly would if it's coming in. J.B. Rottenborn. So what we'll do, there's a text from Paul Bettany between the two, and then there's actually one after Johnny's bottom text. Ms. Myers right. J.B. Rottenborn. We'll unredact those right now. Judge Penny. That'll be good. I think that's fair. I still have your observation, which I'm going to overrule. It goes both ways. But if you want to, if you can do that... J.B. Rottenborn. We'll do it right now. Then I think for a lot of these, we'll just make a note and agree on paper copies and hand them up to the court tomorrow if that works. Judge Penny. I'll allow into evidence with agreed redactions once you've agreed on it. Okay? J.B. Rottenborn. Thank you. Judge Penny. Thank you.
Mr. Depp, this is a text message exchange that you had with Paul Bettany on June 11th, 2013, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Depp, is this a text message exchange that you had with Ms. Heard on December 18th, 2014?
I see that.
Your Honor, I would move for admission of this exhibit and ask for permission to publish.
All right, any objection?
May I have a look at the...
Of course.
You can look at the
Your
bottom.
Honor, may we approach real quick?
Okay, sure.
Ms. Myers. My only concern is it's already redacted. I can't see if there's any necessary context. J.B. Rottenborn. We can unredact it all. Judge Penny. I know, but maybe next time we could exchange them ahead of time so we know which exhibits are, at least. J.B. Rottenborn. We understand. Judge Penny. Let's unredact them, give them a chance to review the whole page. J.B. Rottenborn. We have no objection. If you want it all unredacted, that's fine. Ms. Myers. I'll take a look. Judge Penny. Let her take a look and move down so they can see the whole thing. J.B. Rottenborn. Okay.
And Michelle, if you could just scroll down as so the court and Mr. Depp's counsel and Mr. Depp can see it all. Correct. And you didn't send that message to Ms. Heard. You sent that to Elton John. I would have been swallowed up by the monster were it not for you. Correct?
Elton
Can you pull up exhibit 408, please?
was a dear friend who has been sober for 40 years, 30 years. So he was, we'd had discussions and he wanted me to get clean, sober. So Elton actually sent a fellow called Charlie Dunnett, who worked with Elton for years and years. And
Mr. Depp, I appreciate that. My only question was just to confirm that you had sent that message to Elton John, nothing else. Thank you.
So I'll just stop talking.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I want to be
Certainly
respectful of the
not a
court's
problem,
time
Mr.
and the
Rottenborn.
jury's time.
Sorry?
I just said I want to be respectful of the court's time and the jury's time, and I trust that you do too. So,
Well, I don't feel like I'm wasting anyone's time, sir.
could you pull up exhibit 408, please? Mr. Depp, I'd like to turn your attention to the bottom text on this page. And can you confirm that this is a text message that you sent on April 9th, 2015, while you were married to Amber, to your sister? Do you see that?
The last,
The last text on the one on the bottom.
Yes, I see that, yes.
Your Honor, I'd move for admission of 408 with all the identifiers redacted and everything except the last text redacted.
Just the last
Yes, Your Honor.
one text.
We object, Your Honor. If we could approach it just very quickly.
Ms. Myers, Your Honour, these messages before reflect that this is actually to Whitney, not his sister, and so we'd ask that those be included. J.B. Rottenborn, okay. Judge Penny, so you just redact everything except the very last text. Ms. Myers, well, I think the one or two before it reflect that this is communication between him and Whitney, not Christie. Judge Penny, okay, so this is Whitney. Ms. Myers, yes. J.B. Rottenborn, you just want Ms. Myers. I would like to at least have the language that shows that. Judge Penny, you want to have the top two texts above it. Ms. Myers, I believe it's one or two, yes. J.B. Rottenborn, whatever they want is fine. Judge Penny, okay. I just want to make sure, if you want to go back, you want the top two texts above that one that they want in, or just the one. Ms. Myers, I think it's just the one that I'm concerned. Judge Penny, so if you could redact everything except those last two texts, see if that is right before we... Ms. Myers, yes. Judge Penny, so can we do those redactions before we publish? J.B. Rottenborn, thank you. Judge Penny, okay.
The one I had and the one above it. Okay. And Mr. Depp, to clarify, is sis in those texts, is that your sister, or it could be Amber's sister too, right?
Sis, I was referring to Whitney.
Whitney, okay, so Amber's sister. Okay.
Yes, Amber's
Okay.
sister.
Mr. Depp, these are various texts that you sent and received to various people in 2012. Do you see that?
Yes, seems to go from July to September.
Right, right. And we'll take them kind of piece by piece, I guess. I guess the first thing I'd like to do is take a look at the entries 1628. So that's about halfway down the page. It's a text exchange, a text from you to Stephen Duders, your personal assistant at the time, and then a text from him back to you.
Objection, Your Honor.
Judge Penny, I guess we're approaching. Ms. Myers, the portion of the communication... Judge Penny, I'm sorry, I'm not hearing you. Ms. Myers, the portion of the text messages that refer to Seattle need to be redacted. J.B. Rottenborn, of course. I prepared a redacted version, but I thought, from this morning, you'd want to see the whole thing. Judge Penny, which ones are you focusing on? J.B. Rottenborn, I'm going to focus on the two from him to Stephen Duders, in the middle of the page. I think it's 16 and 28, and then... Judge Penny, two of those. J.B. Rottenborn, I think there's one at the bottom, one text at the bottom, just those three. Judge Penny, the one that says, I use marijuana a lot. J.B. Rottenborn, yes. Judge Penny, the ones you redacted, now that we've seen it all, there isn't anything else you want on there, right? Ms. Myers, no. Judge Penny, once you redact it, and once they've seen it, we'll enter it into evidence. J.B. Rottenborn, okay, no, that's fine. I have no objection to that. Judge Penny, okay.
Referred to the French extortionist and called her an ex-cunt. You were referring to Vanessa Paradis, the mother of your children, correct?
Yes, sir, things got a little
You can take
tight
that down.
at that point between us, as they would.
Can you pull up Exhibit 214, please? Defendant's Exhibit 214. Mr. Depp, portions of this, we've already seen portions of this exhibit. What I'm going to ask you about are the top 3 messages. These are messages to and from your daughter, Lily Rose, I believe, on February 4th, 2014, correct?
We object, Your Honor. These are communications. We object to the admission of any communications from his daughter.
What's the legal objection?
A hearsay.
First of all, I was just asking him if that was what it was, but may we approach?
Okay.
JB Rottenborn. I think context matters. Today we've had a number of things where she said, well, we want the other text messages for context. So I think it's indiscernible. Judge Penny, they don't want it this time. JB Rottenborn, fair enough. I'm going to ask him some questions. May ask to have them not published, but impeach him with it. Judge Penny, what's the impeachment though? JB Rottenborn, well, nothing yet. I'm just saying I'm not going to ask. Judge Penny, so what? Indiscernible. JB Rottenborn, potentially. I may show it to him for impeachment purposes if necessary. Judge Penny, but not now. JB Rottenborn, not now. Judge Penny, sustain the objection to 214. Next exhibit. Ms. Myers. Thank you, Your Honour.
Mr. Depp, you understood that the last few years before Amber, that your relationship with your kids was such that there was a perception by them that you weren't around for them, and that all changed when Amber came into your life, correct?
Objection calls for speculation.
Just asking what he's aware of. I'm not 100% sure if this has been
839.
the defendant's 839.
Is there any objection to that audio recording?
I don't believe, assuming this is an audio recording between Mr. Depp and Ms. Hurd, then we have no objection.
All right.
is.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And so no objection to it being entered in evidence, correct?
That's correct.
And it's full content, but we're just playing a portion of it, is that
That's
correct?
exactly
Okay.
right.
All right,
Yep.
839 in evidence then. Okay, thank you.
And permission to play the clip mentioned to the jury?
Okay, I assume there's no objection since it's in. That's fine, go ahead.
By pounding on the door, waking up every 15 minutes and then falling asleep next to the door so I could hear you snore. In case if you vomited, I could call EMS if you ever stopped snoring.
Because you were afraid I was going to die.
I thought you would choke on your own vomit, which is very likely with you.
Really?
Yes, very
But I
likely.
vomit a lot.
Yes.
What?
Yes, you do vomit a lot. In your sleep, even more.
Really?
Oh, it's news to you? Then this is affecting you a lot more than I thought it was.
I'll be used.
Can you please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 1094?
Your Honor, may we approach briefly?
Ms. Myers, I don't know if that was proper to just put that up without asking a question. Judge Penny, the audio clip. Ms. Myers, it was just played. There was no question about it. Judge Penny, that's all right. You can follow up on it on your redirect. That's fine. Ms. Myers, that's fine.
Mr. Depp, do you recognize this picture as being a picture of you?
Yes, Ms. Hurd kindly showed it to me the day after she took it, yes.
Okay. That works, doesn't it? I've had to kill a few of the animals for sustenance. I've made quite a mess. There's blood and animal tracks everywhere. Did I read that right?
You did.
Okay. And you are currently in a lawsuit for assaulting a crew member on the set of one of your movies in July 2018, correct?
Yes, someone brought a case against me.
Right. A man by the name of Greg Rocky Brooks is suing you for allegedly
Objection,
punching
Your
him
Honor.
twice in the
Relevance
rib.
and
Sorry,
403 and 404.
Ms. Myers, Judge Penny, this is a defamation case. I don't think either of you can have improper character evidence in a defamation case. What's your other objection? Ms. Myers, relevance, Your Honour. Judge Penny, what's your relevance? J.B. Rottenborn, relevance is that the two bodyguards that were with him during the time of these allegations were Jerry Judge and Sean Bett, the same people that were with him the night of May 21st, 2016. Judge Penny, why is that relevant? J.B. Rottenborn, our belief is that Mr. Judge and Mr. Bett lied to protect him. They're all loyal to him, so the fact that he sued by someone for assaulting him on a movie set, and the same two people were conveniently there on May 21st, 2016, that's directly relevant evidence. I'll limit my questions. I won't ask him about allegations, but I want to ask him one question. I'll say, the two people who were with you, who were your security guards the day of the alleged assault, were Jerry Judge and Sean Bett. That's the only question I'll ask him. That's relevant. Ms. Myers, that's tenuous. What happened between him and another man? Judge Penny, if he's not going to ask any other details, just that one limited question, okay? J.B. Rottenborn, thank you, Your Honour. Judge Penny, okay.
Mr. Depp, I'm not going to ask you any questions about the particulars of that lawsuit, but other than this, the two bodyguards who were with you on the set of the movie on the day that's the subject of that lawsuit were Sean Bett and Jerry Judge, correct?
That's correct.
And at some point on the flight, you ended up sleeping on the bathroom floor, right?
I did.
You testified to that yesterday, correct?
I did, yes, sir.
And when you landed, you were quite ill when you landed in Los Angeles, correct?
I don't recall being quite ill. It's possible. I don't know what you're referring to.
Let's
Maybe
take
you
a
could
look
take
at
me there.
page. Yeah, sure. Let's take a look at page 313 of your UK transcript, please.
3:30.
It's on page 37 of the document.
May we approach, Your Honor?
3:30.
All right,
I'm
let's
sorry.
approach for a second.
Ms. Myers, Your Honour, this is testimony concerning text messages between Mr. Douters and Amber Heard. So whatever these questions are, I can't imagine that they're proper impeachment. J.B. Rottenborn, Your Honour, it's his testimony. I'm going to start on line 14. Were you sick when you arrived back in LA, or were you sick on the plane? He says, clearly Mr. Douters is sending these texts to Miss Heard. I must have been quite ill, or I must have been quite ill. Ms. Myers, he's referring to a text message. J.B. Rottenborn, he's testifying that he was quite ill. He's not testifying to the content of the text messages. It's his testimony. He's relying on something to base his belief that he's quite ill. He testified under oath, I must have been quite ill. This isn't improper use of hearsay document. Judge Penny, no, it's the impeachment part. J.B. Rottenborn, he testified yesterday that all he had was... Judge Penny, I understand that. J.B. Rottenborn, you understand that. Judge Penny, that was impeached by the text. J.B. Rottenborn, well, can I refresh his recollection of indiscernible impeachment? He said, I don't recall. Judge Penny, the first reference is fine, but I don't see this as impeachment. Ms. Myers, Your Honour, I'm sorry. The reference to the text messages is between Mr. Douters and Miss Heard. Judge Penny, you just have to read it. You don't read it, he reads it. That's how you refresh the memory. J.B. Rottenborn, that's fine. Judge Penny, yeah. Have him read it and say, does this refresh your recollection? Ms. Myers, thank you, Your Honour. The court,
Mr. Depp, do you have page 313 in front of you?
I do, sir.
Okay. Can you just read, you can read to yourself, the page
Between
333
a
of your,
blackout and when you're on opiates.
let's look at page 333 of your transcript, please.
333.
This is day 2. This is from the UK trial.
Yes, we seem to be there a lot. 333.
Your Honor, may we approach, please?
Okay.
Ms. Myers, Your Honour, I'm anticipating where they're going, and I just don't think this is proper impeachment testimony. J.B. Rottenborn, he just said he wasn't in a blackout. Judge Penny, he just said he wasn't in a blackout. Ms. Myers, he says apparently, yes. Judge Penny, but parts of the flight I blacked out. J.B. Rottenborn, is there any reason why you said this, and it is not true? Probably not. Then he goes on about how he exaggerates. It's direct impeachment of the question. Judge Penny, it is going from J.B. Rottenborn, 1813. Judge Penny, 1813. All right.
Do you see that page, Mr. Depp?
333, yes, I do.
Okay. And you see on line 8, you were asked a question 11, please. You were asked a question. I want to make sure it is quite clear what you were saying about the Boston plane incident. You were very drunk. You had taken drugs either before or during or both. Do you agree with that? Answer, sure. For the purposes of getting through this, let's say yes. Everything you have said, I agree. Did
Yes,
I read that right?
You did. I was caving in from...
That's
I know
my
you
question
know.
was simply, did I read
Yes,
that
yes,
correctly,
yes,
Mr. Depp?
I understand.
Now, can we pull up Exhibit 243, please? Actually, no, you know what? Let's go to Exhibit 221. Your Honor, this is a recording, and I'd be happy to read. We're going to play three excerpts from it.
Okay, and there's no objection to the entire audio recording coming in, is that correct?
May we approach? I would just like to know what it is first.
Okay.
Ms. Myers, I want to make sure. J.B. Rottenborn, it's the plane ride recording. Ms. Myers, I think we were maintaining an objection on authentication on that one. Judge Penny, the previous motion in limine on this one. Ms. Myers, I'm sorry? Judge Penny, was that the motion in limine? Ms. Myers, that one was not. Judge Penny, is this a different one? Ms. Myers, yes. Judge Penny, okay, all right. So authentication is the objection. J.B. Rottenborn, I mean, he testified about it in the UK. He will at least, if he testifies consistent with the UK, he will say it's from a different time. But I don't think he disputes. I'll have to check the transcript. But there wasn't a dispute in his voice, right? Miss Myers, I'm not disputing that it's his voice, but dispute as to whether it has been manipulated in any way and when it's actually from. J.B. Rottenborn, that's the first I've ever heard of that. They haven't made any motion that the tapes were manipulated. They can ask him about it if they think it was manipulated. Ms. Myers, we're maintaining an authentication objection right now. J.B. Rottenborn, she just admitted that he testified it's his voice on the video or audio. Judge Penny, so I guess at redirect you can. I'm not sure what questions you're going to ask about that. So you are objecting to it coming in, period, because of authentication. Ms. Myers, yes. J.B. Rottenborn, while admitting that it's his voice. Judge Penny, well, I guess that goes to the weight of it. So you can do it on redirect. Ms. Myers, okay. Judge Penny, we'll let that in. Ms. Myers, thank you. Judge Penny, okay.
Your Honor, we would offer the full exhibit to...
Go, Mr. Rottenborn. Your question?
Yes, I do. Mr. Depp, this is your signature on the page of the document being displayed here, correct?
That is
And it's dated February 11th, 2015?
correct.
Your Honor, with the understanding that if the exhibit for the court will have to redact signatures, I'd move for admission of this document and permission to publish.
Any objection?
Your Honor, may have some medical information, so at this time, we'd like an opportunity to ensure. This is an insurance form with medical information. I just want to make sure we're not publishing anything that shouldn't be.
Your Honor's made clear that anything that comes into evidence in this case will be published to the jury, whether it's
Well, there may be
confidential or not.
irrelevant medical information that Your Honor has already ruled is not admissible.
Approach. Please come here.
Judge Penny, we already have gotten medical records in from both sides. I said I wouldn't put them on the web, but they're evidence in the case. Medical records in this case are already in evidence. Ms. Myers, I understood Your Honour to have granted at least a portion of our motion in limine to exclude irrelevant medical information. We just want to make sure. J.B. Rottenborn, if you're worried about VD, then take a look at page 2. I'm happy if they want to take a look, really quick, at that page. I'm only going to ask about, not asking about anything that's the subject of motion in limine. I'm not, if they want to look through it. Judge Penny, to redact it. J.B. Rottenborn, I'm not going to ask about anything relating to that, and I won't do it for anything other than what I'm asking about, which is the drug use things. Judge Penny, I guess I agree redactions before it comes into evidence, that's fine. J.B. Rottenborn, I'm trying to keep the flow from being broken up. Judge Penny, I understand. Ben Chew, we've had a whole... Judge Penny, yeah, I'm getting a little frustrated too with having to look at things for the jury's time. I'm getting very frustrated. J.B. Rottenborn, I agree. Judge Penny, can you just pick the one part you want to have published? Can you ask him about it and we can get it into evidence later? J.B. Rottenborn, I'd like the jury to see it. I'd like the jury to see the part where his signature and where he said he hadn't used drugs in the last 12 months. Judge Penny, can we just open that? J.B. Rottenborn, sure. Judge Penny, let's do it that way, just to make it quicker. Miss Myers, okay. J.B. Rottenborn, that's fine, thank you.
Okay. And then can you scroll down, Michelle? Scroll down again.
All right. We ready for the jury?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. We actually do have a very
Okay,
brief
sure,
preliminary matter.
sure, that's
If we
fine.
could approach.
Okay.
Ben Chew, Miss Vasquez received an email with an exhibit that Mr. Rottenborn used on cross. Camille, unredacted. Ben Chew, unredacted. Has Mr. Depp's phone number on it. Camille, so we understand that Miss Herdside is working with a public relations firm and... Judge Penny, is it on social media? Camille, no, it looks like a scanned-in copy, Your Honour. Ben Chew, it's from a binder. Camille, it looks like it's scanned in from a binder. It's clearly, you know, but the problem here is it was an exhibit that was used by Mr. Rottenborn on cross, and it has our client's phone number and has obviously their client's email, if she still uses that. The concern here is we understand that perhaps Miss Herdside is working with a public relations company to, once exhibits are admitted by Your Honour, to push them out to the media. The problem here is this is an inadvertent disclosure before Your Honour admitted this exhibit. It looks like it might be. It was just sent to me just this afternoon while we were on lunch by a fan or somebody saying hi from the UK. Not sure if this is supposed to be a contained telephone number. Judge Penny, it wasn't our court files because we haven't... Camille, no, but I don't know where he obtained it. But it's clearly an exhibit that's never been utilised until during cross-examination today. Judge Penny, I'm not... Do we know? Do you know if any of your team or any... J.B. Rottenborn, I don't know. Judge Penny, who's been involved in that? Elaine, I don't think anyone from our team is involved. I don't know the answer to this question. Judge Penny, the question is, what they're saying is, I guess, you've got some kind of public PR team that gets the evidence out? Elaine, yeah, we're not actively working with them. Judge Penny, but they have all of your exhibits. Elaine, I don't believe so. Camille, we understand they do. Judge Penny, yeah, you need to look into it and find and see what's going on, because there's a lot of redactions going on. I mean, I don't even have that exhibit yet because it's owed to me for redactions. Elaine, I don't know what it is. Benchu, we can show you what it is. Camille, it was the one he was just showing Mr. Depp. Elaine, we will look into this, Your Honour. We're not aware of anything. Judge Penny, yeah, okay. Camille, it was used in cross-examination today. Elaine, indiscernible cross-examination. Judge Penny, I know, but I'm not sure where it's coming from. I think that the main thing is that I don't know what this PR firm is doing. I don't think any evidence should be going out except that's why we did it on the official court site, so they shouldn't be giving out evidence. So many things I redacted. Benchu, it may not come in at all. Elaine, totally understand that. Judge Penny, the train has to stop if it's rolling. I'm not sure if it is. Elaine, totally understand and we agree. I have another. Mr. Rottenborn has agreed. He intends to bring in 581 and 582 this afternoon. Judge Penny, I don't know what that is. Elaine, they're audio tapes. The parties have agreed that all the audio tapes can come in full. These are the two. Ms. Myers, can we clarify that? To the extent that it's just Mr. Depp and Miss Heard on the audio tape. Elaine, I didn't understand that was the... Benchu, yes you did. Come on, Elaine. Elaine, but in any event, Your Honour, this is 581 and 582. These are between Mr. Depp and Miss Heard, but we wanted to disclose that these are the two that are just partials. We could never find the full. We said that we were still looking at the time of motion in limine. Your Honour denied the motion to try to exclude them. We went back. When we inherited this case 2 years ago, we inherited 1.3 million documents database. We had that completely searched, had IT people completely search it. We have not been able to find anything but partials on both. But those are partials, and we claim partials here. But we don't have the full report. We've done everything we can to try and find it. Ms. Myers, I think we need to start with indiscernible. Judge Penny, but you can also redirect on it. Also, that's fine. That's fine. But those recordings are just the two of them? Elaine, correct. That's correct. Judge Penny, there's no other people. Now, we are all on the same page that ones with other people aren't coming in. Ms. Myers, we have not made an agreement. Elaine, we haven't done anything. Judge Penny, well, the issue is out there, right? That we're going to get that resolved, right? J.B. Rottenborn, so I didn't hear all of that. Can I use them? Judge Penny, you can use them, and your objection is noted. Ms. Myers, thank you. Judge Penny, all right, let's go ahead and get the jury.
Objection, Your Honor. May we approach?
Yes.
Ms. Myers, I'm just curious as to which portion, because this is all Judge Penny, which J.B. Rottenborn, line 25 and then to 435. Ms. Myers, I apologise. Judge Penny, no, that's okay.
Mr. Depp, are you there? Admitted into evidence yet?
380, plaintiff's 380 or defendant's 380?
I believe it's defendants. I left my cheat sheet.
Okay. Thought it was an easy question.
I'm sorry.
Okay, 380.
I had it written down and
All right.
don't have it in front of me.
That's fine. They're both 380.
Plaintiff's 380.
Plaintiff's 380, okay.
Yes.
All right, I don't know if that's in evidence or not. Is plaintiff's 380 in evidence? No. So you're offering 380 before we hear it. Can we put it in evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd move it into evidence, and the portions that I'd like to play are 3333 through 3410.
I assume no objections, this is the audio.
As long as this is an audio recording of just Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard, we have no objection.
This portion is.
This portion is.
Yes, I believe that there's other portions that involve other people, but as best I'm aware, well, actually, no. May we approach? Because I think.
JB Rottenborn. I think this one is like the plain one. I think it's a long video that was long audio from Australia. Mr. Depp wasn't present for most, but the portion that I'm going to play is just Mr. Depp yelling. Judge Penny, here's the problem. Now, we're not putting this whole audio into evidence because there's other parts that people object to, right? JB Rottenborn. I mean, it's just like, sure, I mean, that's fine, but it's just like the plain thing we did earlier. Judge Penny, I have to keep a clean record, okay? JB Rottenborn, I understand. Judge Penny, so I can. If we're not putting the full audio in, I didn't mind the other ones. That was putting the full audio in. But if you're just putting just one part of it in, I have to make it clear for the record. I just need that audio clip to go with the record. JB Rottenborn, let's just do that. Ms. Myers, I think I know this is the 4-hour Australia recording. Are you sure? Has this been... Judge Penny, you're suggesting it's just the two of them or other people? JB Rottenborn, there's definitely other people in other parts, but I think the only part I'm playing, I think it's just him. There's other voices, but you can't hear anything. It's just him making a bunch of noises and yelling. Ms. Myers, is there no actual statements? JB Rottenborn, I think there are. Judge Penny, well then, why don't we go ahead and take our afternoon break and you both can play it? I'd rather do that than hear it and all of a sudden it's the wrong one. JB Rottenborn, I'm sorry for that. Judge Penny, that's okay. I just want to make sure. Trying to get a clean record. Ms. Myers, thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to work out an issue with one of the the audio recordings. So we'll go ahead and take our 15-minute recess for the afternoon, okay? Do not discuss the case and do not do any outside research, okay? Okay, sure.
Elaine. Your Honour, may we approach briefly before we take a break? Judge Penny, okay. Elaine. Your Honour, I have verified with the PR people that they have not released anything today, much less anything that would be an exhibit. They have never released anything that was not already in evidence, which means whatever was on Miss Vasquez's phone has nothing to do with us. Judge Penny, okay. Elaine, and the allegation, and what's bothering me, is then they release these transcripts, and these people have been getting transcripts every day. They release them to the press. They're making unfounded allegations about... Benchu, what are you talking about? Elaine, our legal team, suggesting we're releasing things, suggesting that other people are releasing things, and I'm very offended by it. Your Honour said we need to verify it before we come up to this bench, and now there's been an allegation. Our legal team had something to do with this. Benchu, that's not what we did. Judge Penny, I think they wanted to make sure that it was clear, and then when you went back and you made sure, I don't think anybody's taking this, that there was anything. Elaine, it did not come from us at all. Judge Penny, that's fine, that's been verified, that's fine, that makes sense. I just want to make sure, like you said, that no evidence gets out there from anybody until... Camille, as I stated, it also had Miss Heard's email address. Judge Penny, no, I know. That's why I wanted to bring it to everybody's attention that that's happening. So that's fine. So I don't know where it's coming from, but I can tell you that I know Planet Depots has been getting... People can pay for the transcripts. Anybody can do it. So the transcripts are getting out. It could be anybody paying for them, and they'll take anybody's money. Camille, Your Honour, is this the court's website? It appears to be. Judge Penny, it's really weird. That's the court's website. Camille, so if I may, just to show you, so under today's date, these are the exhibits, and that's the one. Judge Penny, see, it might be. Have you downloaded anything today on the court? Have you downloaded any exhibits on the court website? Camille, that might be. Judge Penny, we'll take a look. Elaine, I'm just glad. Judge Penny, all right, thank you. Benchew, thank you, Your Honour. Judge Penny, okay, so that was Exhibit 325, and that was the one that at first you had it redactions on it. They said they wanted to see it without redactions, and you said we have no objection to the unredacted version. So that's what you put up. That's what you posted, and that's what was put into evidence. Benchew. So, Judge Penny, I can't put any blame on anybody here, other than that's what we had, that's what was in evidence, that's what went up on the website. We've taken it down. Now, if you want to give us a redacted version of 325, we'll replace it. Elaine, the identifiers, yeah. Judge Penny, whatever you want to do. The only one that didn't have a redacted by it, you guys owe me a lot, by the way, but now we'll do the 325 redacted, okay? Benchew, thank you, Your Honour. Elaine, thank you, Your Honour. Judge Penny, all right, we've got that taken care of. All right, are we ready for the jury? J.B. Rattenborn, yes, Your Honour. Judge Penny, okay.
Text from you to Whitney on March 9th, 2013, correct? You see that?
What am I supposed to see? I'm sorry.
The second, the text, two down, is a text from you to Whitney dated March 9th, 2013.
Yes, I see that, yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I would move for the admission of this Exhibit 159 with that text and then the second and third texts from the bottom, please. With the appropriate redactions on everything else.
May we approach, Your Honor?
Ms. Myers, I have no objection to the portion of the text message at the top submitted on Judge Penny. At the top, Ms. Myers, yes, submitted on 15th of March, correct? J.B. Rottenborn, Ms. Myers, the text at the bottom are from a different time period. I'm just not sure of the relevance. J.B. Rottenborn, I'm going to ask him about it later. Those are the three things that I may use in my cross. I just wanted to do it all now. Judge Penny, but you're not going to ask him questions on that right now. J.B. Rottenborn, what's the date on the 2nd? Judge Penny, May 12th. J.B. Rottenborn, yeah, I probably will not ask him about those right now, but I don't want to come back up and do it. Judge Penny, let's do the one that's published right now. J.B. Rottenborn, okay, sure. Ms. Myers, thank you, Your Honour.
Okay. Can you, Michelle, can you please redact everything but the second text message, please? Intimidating, correct?
Objection calls for speculation.
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
Okay. Now, you're a lot bigger than Amber, correct? Physically?
I wouldn't say that.
Okay. Would you agree with me that the standards of a Southern gentleman were not in your mind in this particular moment, were they?
I don't know about anyone else, but I have had experiences in my life where one does stray from complete control over their emotions at times, and that is a very normal, primal thing to do. I did not try to intimidate Ms. Hurd. If she was intimidated, why was she filming? If she was scared to death, why didn't she leave?
Can you pull up Exhibit 821, please? Defendant's Exhibit. We're going to fast forward in time a little bit, Mr. Depp.
Yes, I can feel it.
I'd like to direct your attention to the third text down. It's a text message from you to your sister on June 4th, 2016. You
Yes, sir.
see that?
Objection, relevance, Your Honor.
What's the relevance? Or you want to approach this?
JB Rottenborn, the relevance is the same relevance we've had all throughout and continues. I mean, it's a couple of days after the restraining order. Same relevance that I don't want to use the words if I don't have to. Remember the Honda Civic? That was after the Judge Penny. Honda Civic? JB Rottenborn, corpse. You want to see a corpse decomposing in a Honda Civic? Judge Penny, I just don't see the relevance of this for this defamation case. JB Rottenborn, definitely going to be... Okay, I won't argue with you on this one. Judge Penny, thank you, I appreciate that. JB Rottenborn, I'm sorry, but I will seek to get it in Miss Heard's case. Judge Penny, well, I'm not there yet. Just right now, I just don't see the relevance. JB Rottenborn, I just didn't want to see him like... Judge Penny, right now, I'll sustain for relevance. Thank you.
Deb, these are text messages that you sent to your friend Isaac Baruch, correct?
Yes, and I'll just say that I'm not proud of any of the language that I've used in these anger.
Your Honor, I move for admission of just this page of this exhibit.
Your Honor, we object on relevance.
All right, if you want to approach, let's take it.
JB Rottenborn, Your Honour, this is the filing, which it's totally irrelevant. The time frame doesn't matter. Ms. Myers, Your Honour, this is after she has made the allegations of abuse against him. This is months later. Judge Penny, that doesn't matter. JB Rottenborn, it's already been admitted with Mr. Baruch. It's the language he uses, the way that he refers to women, Your Honour. Ms. Myers, the way he refers to women, that's improper character evidence again. JB Rottenborn, it's not. It's about Amber. It's not improper hearsay. I'm only trying to get... Judge Penny, wait a minute. I'm reading all of this. JB Rottenborn, I'm sorry. Judge Penny, okay, I'll allow those two in. Overrule objection. So you have no other text that you want. JB Rottenborn, no. Judge Penny, okay.
Your Honor, permission to publish this redacted exhibit.
All right, yes, sir.
Mr. Depp, these are two texts that you sent to Isaac Baruch, the jury's heard from on October 17th, 2016 and October 18th, 2016. Can you just read for the jury that first text?
You'd like me to read that?
Yes, please.
Sure, Mr. Rottenborn. Is the slippery whore that I donated my jizz to for a while staying there?
And can you please read the text under that, please?
Certainly. I'm not sure I sent that text, but...
Well, I'll read it. You say...
No, I'll read it. It's fine if you'd
No.
like to hear that.
I'll go ahead and read
Oh,
it,
you
sir.
go ahead.
You tell Mr. Baruch on October...